How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. The Golden Century DLC for EU4 focuses on the Iberian region and is accompanied by 1.28 Spain patch update. Like every other update, there will be some free features in 1.28, while some features will only be available with the DLC. This DLC and patch makes a lot of significant changes to game mechanics along with some serious balance changes too. So let's go through the free features first. The 1.28 Spain patch will update maps, introducing new provinces in Iberia and North Africa along with the New World. There will also be new nations in Mesoamerica, so now you can chain war your neighbors for even longer, helping you manage the doom. There are also two new colonial subjects, Cascadia and Texas, which is nice as it will mean more money from tariffs and more prospective merchants. Coming back to North Africa, Morocco and Tunis now have unique set of national ideas along with new mission trees. I believe these will be included in the free update as well. Another interesting change is that Navarra is an inland province now, so you can't just use the usual strategy of escaping to the New World. Instead, now they get an event giving an option to get the throne of Aragon. We'll have to check that out later when the DLC comes out. There are a host of balance changes in 1.28 patch 2. Particularly, religious conversion has been changed yet again, and some idea groups have been updated as well. Let's look at the changes in idea groups first. Expansion and exploration have been flipped, as in now expansion is more primarily colonization focused than exploration. Expansion now has an extra colonist, along with extra settler growth and settler chance. There's also a 20% discount to upgrading centers of trade, which is pretty huge and goes well with colonization playthrough. Exploration now has the first two ideas flipped around, so you don't get colonist as the first idea, and also the second colonist has been replaced with minus 25% expel minority cost, which we'll come back to later. And the bonus settler growth has been nerfed, which makes the expansion idea group a clear first choice when going for early colonization. Innovativeness gets a boost as now innovative ideas will give plus 50% innovativeness, although it comes at a cost of merc maintenance, which does seem like a nerf. Also, the inflation reduction cost is replaced by extra institution spread. In religious ideas, the tolerance of true faith has been nerfed from plus 2 to plus 1, while plus 2% missionary strength against heretics has been changed to minus 50% missionary maintenance. This is a big change and we'll come back to it in a bit. Let's finish up the idea group changes first. Humanists got nerfed hard, with both tolerance of heretics and heathens reduced from plus 3 to plus 2. Why was humanist nerfed? I have no idea, but this will definitely cause more problems for an expansionist playstyle. Maritime ideas actually got nerfed too, which is weird because it's not used very often. The plus 1 yearly tradition was great, and the plus 2 leader maneuver was helpful with extra trade power. Instead, now we get more naval tradition from trade, which helps with trade power a bit, and cheaper admirals, and an extra free leader, which are not as strong. Extra privateer efficiency is good though. Diplomatic idea group now has yearly prestige instead of cost of reducing war exhaustion. Meh. Influence has decreased liberty desire, which is great, but the minus 20% AE is replaced by plus 1 diplo relation, while the AE modifier is now in espionage ideas. You can now also fabricate claims on behalf of vassals in espionage. I don't know how useful that would be, as you can already set the provinces of interest and the vassal would usually fabricate claims on them, although that feature needs the Cossacks DLC, so I guess this change is good for base game. Espionage idea group is a lot stronger with the AE reduction. I still don't know how often it will be used. Quantity now has extra supply limit instead of extra mercs, which is a good change in my opinion. Definitely a buff. Naval has a flat plus 1 yearly naval tradition now, which is better than what it was before, so it's also a slight buff. And that was all the changes to idea groups, and to be honest, I don't see any particular direction that these new ideas will change the gameplay. Except humanist is now much weaker, and the major change to religious ideas. Let's look at the religious conversion change next. Religious conversion no longer requires the province to be stated and cored, so it's reverting back to the pre-1.26 patch change. However, there's a major change to missionary maintenance system now. The maintenance is much higher and the cost will depend on the province development and the local autonomy there. So higher autonomy will mean more costly conversion. So there's still a penalty for not stating a province, as making a state will lower the autonomy, but now the penalty is softer and you can offset the penalty by throwing money at it. It will be interesting to see how that changes the gameplay. There have also been minor changes to how AI moves at army apparently. And that was all the free 1.28 features. Let's look at the DLC now. As we saw, Exploration Idea Group now has minus 25% expel minority cost. The colonizers can now expel minorities and banish them to the new colonies. This gives a slight boost to the settler growth in that province and some province development. And once that colony is completed, the province from where the minorities were expelled from will now be of your culture and religion, which is pretty fantastic, and if it works well, it would solve unrest issue in a lot of provinces. You can now also establish holy orders, which gives specific bonuses along with +1 development to all provinces in that state. Instituting these holy orders cost monarch points, and once they're applied, they cannot be changed. These do have some interesting applications, especially since it gives +1 development on all provinces. Additionally, you get extra missionary strength and decreased build cost, or discounted culture conversion for people who are looking to do a one culture playthrough, or negative local unrest and reduced monthly devastation, which seems the most appealing to me. We'll see how it plays out in game. Next, there are a couple of updates to Navy. You can now build flagships. That will be limited to 1 per country. They will have increased build and maintenance cost, but you can build them with your specification. And some of the bonuses that you can utilize are pretty strong, such as the extra engagement width of +3 seems seriously overpowered, and the reduced transfer time from transports is pretty good too. All nations will have access to flagships. However, some nations such as Portugal and Spain will get extra bonuses in their flagships. You can also capture enemy flagships, but you won't get any bonuses from it. It will just be a trophy ship. You will, however, need a certain size of navy with a minimum number of sailors before you can build the flagship. Next feature is Naval Barrage. Now you can use your navy to cause a wall breach on a coastal fort. This also requires minimum amount of cannons based on either fort level or garrison size and will cost 50 military points. But the best thing is that you can use it way before you have artillery, and ships I think cost less than cannons in the long term anyways. We'll see how we can min-max that, but either case, this feature seems pretty helpful for taking coastal forts, and it makes Navy more useful. There are also new mission trees for Iberian nations, including Granada and Andalusia, and they look pretty detailed, really rivaling the extensive England mission tree from Rule Britannia. There has also been changes to national ideas for Castile, Spain, Aragon, and the Berber nations. One of the major changes is that the core creation cost penalty has been removed from Berber provinces now, which will make expansion in Maghreb a lot easier. Also, Texas has its own national ideas for some reason. When playing as Portugal now, you can flee to Brazil and form the nation of Brazil. And I think you will keep the Portuguese ideas and missions, not entirely sure. Also now forming Morocco and Tunis will be easier apparently, so you can get access to the new missions more easily. Talking of Morocco, now they start with 3 vassals, which looks really interesting actually. I might actually play as Morocco when the DLC comes out. And lastly, EU4 now officially has pirate nations, and you can play as one. Any country with island provinces can now become Pirate Republic. It's a new government type with the new government reforms if you have the Dharma DLC. And pirates will also have factions, and as a pirate, you can raid coast now irrespective of religion. I just want to see a pirate nation world conquest now. But for now, that is all from the Golden Century DLC and 1.28 Spain patch. We will look at it more when the DLC comes out. Till then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.